Welcome to Season 2 of Conversations That Matter. Starring William Hussey, 365, Dr. Jean Blackman, and Dominique Davis. The place where meaningful dialogue creates change. Sit back, grab a snack, and join us for a conversation that truly matters.
What's up, good people? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Conversations That Matter. I'm your main man, William Hussey, 365.
Jean Blackman, Big 22, Dominique Davis.
And you know it. We back with another episode. Today, we talking about co-parenting, y'all. Co-parenting versus competing with the other parent. So let's talk about it, y'all. Make sure y'all put y'all opinion, voice y'all opinion, strongly voice y'all opinion in the comments today, because we coming straight to the comments, and we hope y'all enjoy this show. So fellas, let's kick it off. What is co-parenting to you guys? What do you identify when you say co-parenting? What's the healthy side of it? What does that look like to you guys? I'll start with you, Nick.
Teamwork.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Teamwork, flexibility, common ground.
Most definitely.
And the most common denominator is the child.
Yeah, most definitely. That was a good explanation. What about you, Doc?
Respect. Definitely respecting each other's differences, each other's morals, and belief systems.
Right.
Concerning parenting, I think it's healthy when you're respecting each other.
I like that. For me, I think co-parenting is finding some common ground to coexist and raise this child, depending on whatever circumstances it is. You know what I'm saying? But we have to coexist, and we have to partner on raising this child. Like you said, Dominique, the child is the common denominator. And I think a lot of times us as parents think out of our emotions or what we really want. You know what I mean? So we struggling with, no, I want it my way. The other parent's struggling with, no, I want it my way. So how do we come to that common ground and foster better relationships when it comes to co-parenting? So I'm excited to hear what the viewers have to say, our audience have to say.
Please chime in. We really want to hear from y'all. We want to learn from you all.
This
is an open discussion. We're not experts. We only have our experiences and maybe what we've observed from friends and families.
Right.
But we really want to hear from you all and learn from you all as well.
Right. So Nick, I'm gonna start with you. What are some struggles from a co-parenting side that you feel like that our community deals with? Because we're not gonna get too personal, but I want to see, because it's a big issue in our community and it is a conversation that matters in our community. But what's some of the struggles you may see in our community when it comes to co-parenting?
Okay. Here's the thing. For 1 second, I brought an illustration. I know I didn't tell you guys. So, I got some cereal. Okay.
All right.
I got some cereal. Mind if we switch? Can we switch for like 45 seconds? Everything's 45 seconds. Can we switch right quick?
Yeah.
Let's switch. Now, when it comes to co-parenting, something spoke to my spirit and said, bring Jean's box of cereal.
Keep your spoon on my cereal.
So, you guys gonna participate?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, this is the front box of the cereal.
Yes, sir.
You got to be specific, but what do you see on the front box of the cereal?
Man, I see Cheerios on there. I see a heart. Actually, I see 2 hearts on there. I see Grandpa.
Cool. You see the front box of the cereal?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Big Will, what you see on the back side of the cereal? Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Thank you guys for your participation as well. So I'm going somewhere with this. What Jean seen was true. No lies detected.
All right.
What Will seen was true. No lies detected. So nobody lied about what they seen on the box. It was from their view. And I feel like co-parenting the same thing. So it is a touchy subject. And at the same time, we're trying to be unbiased as possible. You got her answer, you got his answer, then you got the truth. But at this part, when it comes to a child, sometimes being right is overrated. It's coming to common ground. We can't be a poor sportsmanship with co-parenting.
Super facts. So what happens when me as a parent says you should be looking at the front of it because what's on the front is most important.
And this is the conversation that matters right here.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm gonna switch back. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
So to answer, and thank you guys again.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, well, to elaborate on your question, because there's no right or wrong answer. It all depends on the individual. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Corey McCann. He couldn't be here today, but I was actually talking to Corey about co-parenting. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it just depends on the individual. You know, co-parenting isn't always a failed relationship. Co-parenting could be a one-night stand, and we both just stepping up.
Right.
Co-parenting could be somebody who was unevenly yoked. Co-parent could be the other person was toxic, whether it was male or female. So it's different scenarios about co-parenting, but the only scenario that's right is the child. And that's my answer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I like that.
I came to play today.
Yeah, I see. Illustrations and all that. You see that, Doc? So,
Yes,
Doc, what do you feel like are some of the struggles of co-parenting that plague our community? What's some things that you see or illustrations?
I think that a lot of times, man, it's hard adjusting when people parent based off of their background.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time you have different backgrounds with who, you know, you end up having a child with.
Most definitely.
And so we typically think that our way is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that becomes a challenge sometimes, man. And then we're not considering the other person's background and why they think or believe the way that they believe concerning parenting. And then sometimes, man, I think sometimes as parents, man, we just don't want to give up control when it comes to certain aspects of parenting. You know what I mean? And there's no parent that's going to get it right 100%.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? And so I think that, you know, there's times, man, where we really have to learn to submit to what, you know, what they may know concerning this particular situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a tough thing to do. So I think that's one of the major challenges, not really considering their background versus yours. And not being able to kind of, you know, submit when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
You know
And that's
what I mean?
ironic you say submit, because that's where I was going to next. Is it like a relationship? You know how you want to practice submission. You know what I mean? Is it the same way in parenting or co-parenting as well? But I think that's a battle or a struggle for most of us, because it's like one of us have to submit, you know, because sometimes the other person, right?
When they're differences.
Right. Go ahead, Nick.
I think that I like the word submission, but at the same time, I look at it as common ground.
Mm-hmm.
If I say he can't go to the dance and she say he can go to the dance,
Right.
Okay, well, he gonna go, but he got to be home by 10. We know the dance is over at 12. I'm like, nah, he ain't going out
you're
there.
saying he
That's
gotta
a
be home at 10.
compromise. That's a compromise. I love
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, I like that's what I said.
Yeah, that's a compromise. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Because you
that.
still
Because-
went with her leadership is no, he can't go, but you said okay, if he can go, he got to be home by 10.
And that's
that common
that's
ground.
the issue with our culture. I'm sorry, sir.
But let me give you another example of the example that you've given.
Right.
So let's say your son wants to go out to a house party.
Mm-hmm.
He's 16 years old. He wants to go to a house party. You in the streets, you basically have heard that it was going to be some stuff going on over there. She may feel like it's okay for my baby to go to that party. And you're like, no. I've heard some things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want him at that party. I feel like at that particular time, you being quote unquote the more knowledgeable parent about what may happen out there, she should submit to your knowledge of what's going on out there. So that's, you know what I'm saying? So that one, in my opinion, the compromise or the common, even if it's not a common ground, the compromise should be, man, like he knows what's going on out there in these streets. And
Yeah,
if
I'm
he
about to
heard some
stand my
things, then I
ground on
need
that.
to, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have to communicate, or whatever parent it is, should communicate that. You know what I mean? Because I know Doc, and I know you would, and I would too, as men, and like if you do got the one up on them, and you like, look, I done heard some things, or I know some things, or I just don't feel comfortable with my child going there, they got to respect that. But you got the ignorance You got the one that just want to feel like, well, you just being an
Or
asshole.
spitefulness.
You know what I'm saying?
Or spitefulness
Right.
and competing.
The
Yeah.
competitor. Right. And and then it's a lost cause if once the child go and something happens, now we all looking crazy because you made it about us.
And that's the issue.
Yeah, and that's the issue. I feel like the answer to give my answer on what it is that plagues our community is just like you say, it's hard for us to submit to each other. And I think most of the times, one of the parents want more control than the other one, think they know more than the other one. Where the child stays with me, that's a whole nother ball game. If they stay with the one parent, the parent that they reside with, I feel like think they have more control, or say so because they feel like they putting more work in and doing more, and they paying the bills in their household. Right. But that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But all that's a start. Anybody from the audience want to share some thoughts on anything?
Chime in.
Give it up for our audience, y'all.
Give it up for the order.
Yeah.
It's a tricky subject.
It is.
Can you hear me? All right, it's a tricky subject. I got two sides of it. Right now, I got an ex-wife, I had 3 kids with, and I got 2 baby mamas with 2 different kids. So it's different.
Right.
Today, I have it all together.
Mm.
When they was younger, we was going through this.
Mm.
It's totally different. Early on, I was more so that I'm the man and I'm the father and I'm active. So my word should trump everything. And I remember one time, one of the baby mothers had said that when I went to go visit, she was like, oh, what did I do now? And I called it. I was like, what you mean? She was like, every time you come, you point out something that I do wrong. And I'm like, nah, I really wasn't even here for this. But it made me take a step back and said, hey, how does she really feel? I'm asserting my authority because I feel like I should be as an active father. But the biggest thing is that with 5 kids, I'm looking like it's 5 different personalities. So I have to treat each kid different, even though it's the same. So if I'm telling one, you wash the dishes or whip your butt, they may do it. The other one, I can say, hey, you know you wash the dishes better than everybody else. I need you to do it. I have to treat these mothers the same. So I start looking at it totally different and just breaking it down and saying, hey, like the situation y'all said, you can't go to the party. Well, I don't think they should be at the party, but I got to build a relationship with the mother now. So I can have that assertiveness later on.
Right.
So I'm going to forward, let you go. Let her do her thing. You going to the party. But as I continue to build with you, then you're going to trust my word more when I say don't go.
But what now? So I feel all of that, bro. But let's say there's a situation where she's still hurt by you. And you're trying to build. You have shifted your mentality to trying to build, but she's still operating off of pain.
Well, like I said, that's 2 different things too. That depends on the age of the child. If it's a child 10 and up, we can handle it a little different. If the child's 10 below, then that's totally different there. So, prime example, I had a situation where y'all my brothers, so I can talk freely here.
Right.
For sure.
I had a 10 and older, was telling her something on the phone, and she basically was like, well, Moms, I ain't got to do this, I ain't got to do that. It was just talking trash on the phone. I jump in my car, head across town.
Right.
You ain't going to talk to daddy like this. But when I get there, you know, they call the police. They's like, and I'm telling the police in the parking lot, I'll pay for all of this. Ain't nobody going to talk me. But in the end, the next day, I had another kid who was going over there who was older and was like, I'm taking some food over there. But Mom, I was like, no, you're not. We're going to the store to get the food. It changed the whole narrative. Yesterday, it was the hell with me. We calling the police, but now the children who 10 and older, like, Dad just bought food in here after y'all called the police yesterday.
Wow.
I don't have to argue with her. I changed the narrative around everybody else. And that's how you get it. You with the one-on-one with the baby mother, you're never going to win that battle.
Right.
So if the grandmother them looking at, hey, he's done this. If the kids are looking, if the aunties are looking, I got a better fight when I'm not in the room.
Right.
And that's what my goal was. Instead of fighting her, I want to get the whole, it's all the water. That's all it is, all the water. As far as a younger child, that's different. Now, like you said, if it's a dangerous situation, some things you can't focus. Some things you just can't. If, like you said, if he has the inside information that this is a dangerous situation, I may not go and say, hey, they're not going. I got to explain that to Mom. Forget what we're going through. This is a dangerous situation tonight. this is not my opinion. This is something here. Maybe we can compromise. Maybe you take them and I pull up a little early to find out what it looks like out there. But she needs to understand the danger of the situation versus we're just saying, no, you don't go because I have the inside information.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sometimes, and I'm going to say this as father, sometimes we give minimum information because we got it and we think that's enough.
Right.
I can agree with that.
That's good. That's good.
Good stuff.
We have to do a better job of explaining why we feel the way we feel versus we
and
just
just
feel that way
communicate
and they should just accept it.
Yeah.
I agree with that,
But
bro.
Yeah.
from a different point of view, from a different view of that situation,
Okay.
maybe mom or dad wants to be brother or sister to the child. And see, what people don't understand when it comes to kids, confidence is like cancer. It spreads.
Right.
So if mom or daddy, if let's say, I'm putting myself involved. If daddy always saying, yeah, so that means he gonna always come to dad and get that yeah.
Right.
But what if that yeah is toxic? What if that yeah is gonna have him in danger?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's put mom involved. Maybe mom want to be sister, and daddy's the overseer. Daddy's from the streets. Daddy know what's going on in the streets. Daddy know these gangbangers gonna be at the party. Daddy know the Crips Bloods gonna be at the party. Whether he's into it or not, daddy know he's an athlete. And this is not a nothing personal I'm speaking on, but just you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Give or take. So if she says yes, but dad said no, now he gonna go to mom. Well, dad said no. Well, mama gonna say I can go. But see, what people don't understand is kids see the tug of war with the parents.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where the co-parenting and the competing is very important. It shouldn't be no competing. Now it is. In a perfect world, it wouldn't be.
Right.
But that's where the compete comes from. And the kid knows how to take leverage off of who he wants to get something from.
Oh, you preaching now. No, that's
So
the
you
truth.
better talk about
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Right.
And once the kids
play
catch on,
both sides.
Yeah.
Play both sides. And they're smart.
Right. Because once the kids catch on, like you said, they use it against both of you. You know what I mean? And that's a tricky thing, man, because once you get to that point, it ain't about who's right or wrong. It's about who he can win over, who she, if you know, just talking about the child, who they can win over. You know what I'm saying? And they playing both of y'all against each other.
He's a child.
Yeah. So what's some triggers that we look for in co-parenting when it comes to competing? Is there any triggers that you have, gentlemen, that you stay away from, or you know when this happens, it's gonna push my buttons? You know what I'm saying? So I just want to help people identify with triggers, because even I go first. You know, like for me, and my kid's mother, I would say in the beginning, it was more things that I think she'll freely let them or allow them to do that I just didn't agree with.
Exactly.
It don't matter if it was just going to the park by themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's walking up that street. As a father, it was just like, if I'm riding by and I see my kid, you're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Oh, they with the older sister, they with the older brother, they okay. But to me, I didn't feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just putting some little light on a disagreement or a trigger that might have happened with my kid's mother, because I got my kids now. But at the end of the day, it's certain things that she would allow that would always push my buttons. But to keep us from not arguing, I think I would submit to certain things that probably wasn't harmful or detrimental to their health or to a lifestyle or something like that. But I just let it go because I didn't want to argue between us. And then at that time, I probably couldn't see the kids, or she'll keep them away from me. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of had that tug of war, but you kind of surrender at times just so you can have that relationship with your kids. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of us do that when at some point you still got to put your foot down. You know what I mean? And stand your ground as a father or mother. You know what I'm saying? Whoever has the best interest, I feel like, is the one that should take leadership when it comes to those triggers and things that y'all might can't agree on. You know what I mean? But it's just difficult, man. It's difficult. Like you say, in our community, I feel like it's a competition more than collectively trying to raise the child. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, but we got to do better. Definitely got to do better.
Well, I will say, okay, I know we go to comments in a second. No, you're right. But I will say, I feel you will, but there are, and I want to make sure we put the right narrative out here. There are co-parents and in our community.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
for sure.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Comments, please.
Absolutely. First, we want to start by thanking everybody for being here today and for tuning in. If you don't mind hitting that share button and sharing this to your family and friends, maybe that co-parent you're competing with. No shade.
Most definitely.
But so yes, Corey McCann says, grace and peace, family. Love y'all.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace.
He also says the biggest struggle I have had, bar none, in co-parenting is the moral and ethical compass. I grew up in love where families hugged on each other, spoke life into the kids, education, etc. My child's mother grew up in straight survival mode, which causes conflict in how we raise our son.
So
I agree with that.
so yeah, and I like to talk to that or speak to that for a second. That's exactly the point that I was making earlier. Because it's easy for us to think that the way we were raised was the better way. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely easy for us to think that. And, you know, it's crazy, man, because I was raised by 3 women: my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother. My mom was a single mom with 3 kids. My aunt was a single mom, which was her sister, single mom with 3 kids. They raised us all in my grandmother's house. My mom, very affectionate, took me to church, all that good stuff. My aunt, which was her sister, at the time was kind of like in the streets, not affectionate at all. Not affectionate at all. But like Dominique said with his analogy, which one was right? Was my aunt wrong because she wasn't affectionate? Even though she, like, me looking back at the things that my aunt did for us was a display of love, but it's because I started looking from a different lens. If I judged love based off of what my mom showed us, which was the affection, then I would have thought that my aunt didn't love us. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's the part that is a challenge, because love looks different from different people.
Yeah, different perspectives. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And so, and I challenge you, Corey, to look at that situation from a different lens, bro. Somebody being on survival mode can still display a whole nother level of love. It just may look different. It may come from a different angle. It may look different. It may have on, you know what I'm saying, a dress and some makeup versus, you know what I'm saying, a collared shirt.
And that's the hardest thing to do. You got in translations and you got interpretations.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So things that can be interpreted different, things can be translated different. That doesn't mean it isn't the same thing.
No.
Mexican says C, we say yes, but it still means the same thing.
Exactly.
Just because he says C doesn't mean it ain't yes.
Exactly.
A go is a go.
Exactly. And I remember I always say to my aunt, I love you, Aunt Nisi. And she'll be like, She never says she loves you back. And I asked her one day, I said, Aunt Nisi, why you never say you love me back? She said, because if I show it, why do I have to say it?
Come on.
People say it all the time and never show it. You know what I mean?
And ain't nothing wrong with
and
that.
she's not wrong.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom's not right.
Right.
But she's not wrong
either.
Yeah,
Definitely
you
not
know
wrong.
what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Damn,
that's good
real.
stuff.
I like
Because that's
that.
like some people, you know, you got a glass halfway full. Some people gonna look at it halfway empty. Some people gonna look at it
That's
halfway
how you
full.
look at it.
You know what I mean? But we all got different perspectives. Go ahead, Chewy. You want to jump back in?
All right, thank you, fellas. All right, Corey McCann also says, y'all are spot on with that control aspect. I don't care what anybody says. Once legal custody, emphasis on the word legal, has been established, that whole narrative of who the child stays with, who pours into the most financially, etc., goes out the window. This applies to both mother and father. If you want to total autonomy or autonomy over this child, one of us needs to relinquish rights. That's how serious that subject is to me.
Super.
All right.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your comments,
Yes,
Corey.
thank
We
you,
appreciate
Corey.
you.
Big salute.
Let me let her finish.
Okay. Crystal Harrison says, happy Sunday panel and chat.
What up? What up, Chris?
Dante Danell is also watching. He says,
Peace,
peace, brothers.
Dante, what up?
What up, though?
Yes, Corey McCann also says, can we talk about parents being on child support who have their children with them for nearly half of the days of the month? I hate North Carolina laws when it comes to child support. I hate it with a passion.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Yes, we all agree.
We're going to speak on that in a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Yes. Wendy Armstrong is watching. She says, hey, y'all.
What up, Wendy?
Indeed.
She also says everyone can give to the capacity that they have. Everyone's pathology can be completely different. Krista Harrison says, that's real, Gene, because my mother didn't show affection, but she showed us an example of what a parent should do, and she showed us by actions that she loved us.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wendy Armstrong also says, my grandmother never said I love you until she was on her deathbed, but I knew she loved me because of how she poured into us and took great care of myself and so many others.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Little is watching. He says, peace, brothers.
Peace.
Crystal Harrison also says, Denzel said in the movie Fences, you live in my house, feed your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. It's my duty to take care of you. I owe you a responsibility to you. I ain't got to like you. Now I gave everything I got to give you. I gave you your life.
What y'all think about that? Because I think a lot of parents do feel that way. You know, I pay the bills. I got the bed. You go ahead. Yeah, I pay the bills. This is my house. You know what I mean? I don't remember that movie, but I do remember something he was speaking to on a movie with his son when he was saying that I don't have to do nothing but feed you and clothe you.
That movie was shot about, you know what I'm saying? It was actually recently shot, you know what I'm saying, the last 5 or 10 years. But anyway, that was an old school movie. And that's just how old school raising was at the time. Right. Daddy was daddy. Daddy really wasn't compassionate like that. But you knew daddy loved you.
Go ahead, right there.
I just want to touch on the subject that Corey said, the first question, because I can relate to that. My youngest daughter lives with me, and her mom is on survival mode. And her way of thinking is totally different from mine. And her thing is, hey, you need to do this. She just gives it to her raw. And my daughter looks at it like it's not love, and like, hey, well, you know, Dad, you over here looks like a family environment, looks like this. But I always try to reiterate to her that, hey, what your mom is giving you is important. Don't you ever think that's not important. Right? What I'm giving you here is some nourishment that I've got with love. Right. But where she's coming from is a place, it's a raw, uncut place that in this world, sometimes single mothers send their sons to go live with the dad to get that. Right. But it looks funny because mom is giving it to you. But that's a fact. So when I hear him saying, hey, well, I'm trying to do it this way and she's over here at this, all you can do is educate your child and say, hey, I'm loving you. This is the way we do things. We're going to give you this loving environment. But it is some pointers where mom is giving you. Because I break it down to my daughter. I tell her all the time. Have you ever sat and talked with your mom and asked her how she got that way? Like, it's a story that comes from that.
Come on. Some macro level.
Come on. So just don't dismiss her. Go and find out who she really is or how she got to this point. We're going to be over here giving you this family love, but what she's giving you, it come from a place.
So and it's still love.
It's still love.
It just looks differently than yours.
Right.
And big bro, I want to commend you for that at the same time. See, that's what a real man does. One thing a real man should do is never try to turn your kid against your mother. I don't give a damn if she is wrong. You should never, ever contest your mother, you know, like downgrade your mother in front of the mother in front of the kids. Never, because she's the carrier. We made the baby,
and vice versa though.
But see, a woman's gonna do that. A woman's gonna do that.
But what Dominique is saying, like, at some point, it's a lose for you.
Yeah, as a man.
As a man and as a father. Because man. They drift back to their mom.
They drift up.
No matter how screwed up their mom is,
and even when they get older, when they get older, they'll see that like daddy never like shunned away from mama. Daddy never like downgraded mama. Daddy never talked shit about mom. You know what I'm saying? And they'll come back on you in tenfold, and you'll be appreciated for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I was raised.
Exactly.
I make my daughter when she said, "Hey, well, I got this happening at school. We're getting ready to go visit this for college," and I'll be like, your mom? Well, I didn't hit mom. Well, don't talk to me until you hit mom.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
In the group chat. You know what I'm saying? Mom
uplift her.
Well, I just get to her. No, you gonna get to her now.
That's what I'm talking about.
And why she feel like she don't have to tell mom?
Because she feels like I live with dad and mom's so toxic over there.
Got you. Yeah.
And I'm like, let's not forget the blessing that mom didn't go and fight. She allowed you to be.
Come on now.
Talk that talk.
She didn't give you nothing else. She gave you that.
Ooh, talk that talk.
Out everything we involved in, she's gonna be there. I know sometimes she probably look like, oh, mom might be, mom look good at times, so she's thinking it's an embarrassment. I don't care nothing about that embarrassment. You got some good here, but we're gonna make sure.
That's your mother.
You and mom relationship already was it always peaceful, or y'all had?
Always peaceful.
How did y'all get to that place where y'all could communicate and have those conversations?
It goes back to what y'all was saying, it was more so about my kid. So even when he said something about the child support, I knew the money was important at the time. So when I first said, hey, I'm going for the joint custody, I said, keep the child support. Keep that money. I'm not worried about that. I just want the relationship with my daughter over here. And then it just kind of went to like what she said, hey, every time I come over here, there's some other stuff. So I started coming over with peace. Hey, you got other kids over there. I know it's stressful for you over here by yourself. Hey, how about maybe one night I order pizza for your kids and you can have a night to rest. I'm trying to break the cycles here. So after a while, the anger stops. And now it's like, this dude really good dude. You know what I'm saying? So she tells my daughter all the time, like, hey, your dad got a better life for you over there. He sent you there. You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
Yeah. So we communicate on everything. I don't not include her on anything. I try to make sure I call. If she's upset on the phone for 2 hours, I'm on the phone for 2 hours listening. And now it's like, when my daughter go over there, even if my daughter does have those times, she's be like, I'm over here, Mom. I'm using Mom to go hang out. Mom on the phone.
Yeah, because you got that communication line.
Is different now. Yeah. So you can't play both sides.
That's a beautiful thing.
So can I keep you right there? Do y'all mind if I just
Go ahead, yeah.
Since you went there, me knowing a little bit about you, I know that you're now married.
Yeah.
So how does co-parenting play or factor into, your current relationship? Does it ever become or do you ever see spiteful or intentional games or things being played with the co-parenting, being that you're in a relationship or anything like that?
And the reason why I don't see that, I'll tell you this, fellas, and for whoever else listening, I set the tone as a man before the new wife showed up.
Yeah, you always speak that. Yeah,
talk about that.
So I'm leading this. So beforehand, before she even got there, I was doing Sunday dinners, inviting everybody. So the new wife had to come and realize what we was already doing.
Come on.
Now, once I got married, I was able to step back. Most of the communication with those mothers is through the new wife now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't even have to chime in. We have a family group chat where we put everybody in the chat. I don't need to jump in there until it's something different. I got one of my daughters is pregnant now, and my daughter was going to the hospital. She's not really understanding the doctor, what's going on. And the whole time I need to chime in, I chime right in the group chat. I think one of y'all need to go out to that next appointment. And my wife was like, I'll be at this one. And my ex was like, hey, give me the update once you get there. It's me setting the tone.
It's love.
Come on,
set
bro.
that tone.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Come on,
you set
bro.
that tone.
Survive
Yeah.
together, but like I said, you got to get past all the BS. So instead of fighting them, man, I started bringing them to the barbecue. Come on,
That's what's up. That's what's up.
You ain't gonna act a fool in front of the kids at my house, but it goes a long way. Now you feel accepted. Most of the time, that drama come with, especially with the women, it's because one don't feel accepted. One feels like the other one is doing more than the other one, and you taking shots. But if we all in the same room and we all collaborating together,
And that comes from setting the tone.
that comes
That comes from setting the tone.
I love it, bro.
Big. That's big.
I love it.
Yeah, that's good.
Good example of
That's
co-parenting
good right
in
there.
our community.
And here's the thing. You can't set the tone if you're not doing your part.
Exactly.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you're not reliable, if you're not consistent, you can't set no tones, man. So I commend you for that, bro.
It's good.
That's super dope. And I think just listening to you, I started learning from my mistakes because I just got my kids and just went my way and did my thing. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like that was best for me at that time. You know what I mean? And plus, we was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta at the time when I got my kids, but it was the best thing that could ever happen to me and my kids at that time, because mom was struggling at the time. But at the same time, I knew, to me, because I'm learning now, I felt like, and I got to be honest, I was the better parent at the time. You know what I'm saying? But she's not a bad parent. I just felt like circumstances in that survival mode, by me being in a better position, I couldn't just sit back and just watch that. And if we wasn't in the place of communicating like y'all were, we was young and dumb. We weren't talking about how we can work this out. It was more so like, just our 4 kids. Older son, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Knows about this. I done the same thing. I got my daughter out and said, "You come stay with me. We'll figure this out together."
Right.
But what I learned was right after that, my daughter went through depression.
Yeah.
She felt like she abandoned them.
Right.
And you gave me a better place, Dad, but what about my siblings over there?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of fathers need to think about that. We
Yeah.
come get ours, but we all they still attached to some more that's in the house.
Yeah.
You know?
And a flip side of that, and I want to spin off of that is and I got to be real and transparent because I felt when I took the kids, they didn't understand at that time what was going on. Because you talking about my youngest was 4, my oldest was like 10. So in their mind, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing a good service. But in their mind, it's like, well, where mommy at? And I wasn't communicating to them. You know what I'm saying? What was going on until then I had to learn how to communicate with them and let them know, like you said, you know, mommy's still a good person. Oh, you're going to see her. Did you call her today? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? But me and her just couldn't have those conversations. But I did see a time of depression from my kids from a certain timeline because the communication went there and they didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So when they like, well, I want to go to mommy house. No, you can't go over there. Or no, we're not going to North Carolina this week or next week. It became an issue. And then you start seeing the depression, the school issues and stuff like that. And I had to learn like, oh, okay. They don't understand it. And I felt like I had to learn how I'm doing what I want and not what they want to a certain degree. And maybe Gene can help me with that because it's like, well, I wanted to do what I felt like was better. But when you're doing what you feel like is better, but you see it hurting your kids because they don't understand, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard.
And that's the tug of war within self. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I want my kids to be happy, but when you got discipline, order, and structure, you're the overseer.
Right.
They're the kid.
Yeah.
And I always have a scenario to say, I would rather for my daughter to cry that she can't get candy than cry from a toothache. I'm an overseer. She thinking daddy being mean, but I know too much candy, your teeth gonna start hurting. And it's gonna be unbearable pain. I'd rather for my baby to cry that she has a seatbelt on than to cry she got thrown from the car or the windshield.
Right.
Yeah, that seatbelt is uncomfortable, but I'm an overseer. I see what's up the road. Sometimes it's not for you to understand.
Yeah.
I'm the parent. You know what I'm saying?
And
But
so
yeah,
over the years, I
I
had to learn how to open up those doors for them to have another relationship with their mother. So, you know, you work it, but and then you get into other relationships and I didn't set the tone like you did. So it's just beef and headache on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? So then so I'm learning a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the kid's good and everybody good, but it's a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing, man.
First time I grabbed her for the summer.
Yeah.
And I ain't get no explanation.
Right.
You need to be here and learn. She cried every day. The mom was like, why would you do it? I don't care. She need to learn some things over here. So I had to learn too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a learning experience. You go back to the comments.
Absolutely. So Corey McCann says, Crystal Harrison, I hated that scene. I think it spoke of something of something much more bigger. Charles Little says, I love that scene because it is real. Best scene in the movie. We have some people that are definitely appreciative of the advice that you gave, Rathel. So thank you for that. Yes. Charles Little says, great conversation and beliefs. Corey McCann says, my second son is violently temperamental and delayed in speech. So he acts very bad with his mother, something he doesn't do with me. But when he acts out with her, I openly make him apologize to her, constructively chastening him and let him know that mommy or daddy won't tolerate that. I don't have the greatest relationship with her, but we're going to fight to be on one accord regarding our child.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love that, Corey.
Yes, good job, Corey. Bro. I do have a clip for y'all, for your opinions, if you're ready.
Roll with it.
Let's go.
Right. There's a lot of competitive parents out there.
Why are parents so competitive and not collaborative?
We've been taught to be. There's a lot of competitive parents out there.
Why are parents so competitive and not collaborative?
We've been taught to be competitive, don't you think? Isn't school competitive? Aren't sports competitive? You know, our workplaces can be competitive, and we think that's the way we demonstrate our worth. So sometimes even in our partnership, we want to win to show we're the most valuable. And I'm saying it very bluntly, I don't think anyone's literally thinking that as they're doing it. But there's a sense of, I want to be considered good. And so let me show you how you're not, or you're not good at this.
Well, let me show you how I'm better than.
I'm better than that. Even if you're not bad, let me show you that I can do this.
I'm better.
Yeah.
What's on that?
Doc on them clips, boy. Go ahead, Doc.
That's a problematic video for me. We're talking privileged white people talking about parenting versus us trying to parent based on trauma that we go through as a community. So it's hard for me to even listen to what the fuck she's saying.
I didn't even understand what it just sounded like they was
well,
competing.
no, she was talking
better.
about competition and wow, but like a white woman might be competing with her husband because of her perspective and the Me Too movement, and she feel like she's been left behind and all of that. A black mother and a black father might be competing, or it may appear to be competition because they have differences. They have different traumas. They have different family backgrounds, different circumstances, and all of that. So it's hard for me to listen. You might not want to play any white people clips when we're talking about what's going on in our community. Just a thought.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Hey, yo, we need you. We appreciate you.
Nah, for real.
I do. Like I said, in my dynamic, I have that situation. So my wife's ex-husband was like the president of Wells Fargo. So with her children, we let them go back this past summer so they can finish their last year of school or whatever. But everything with him is a competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about the money, it's about this, and you know, my thing is more about time.
Right.
Let me spend the time, let me talk with you. So he pitches that to them like, hey, well, I'm doing this. What are they doing for you in Greensboro? What are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, get the car from me. You need to be here. They ain't going to help you with this. But the reality of it is, those kids is really just enjoying that time.
Right.
But he's making it a competition when it don't need to be a competition. And I have to be careful because, like I said, I've grown. And you know, where I'm at now is in a whole different space. And sometimes he thinks he's smarter. So he's coming with stuff and saying stuff, and I have to catch myself because some of that in me be like, bro, do you really? Yeah. You know, I had to catch him on my porch one night, like, bro, just take the kids, like, go home, because I had a buddy tell me, he was like, he's trying to out-intelligence you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to hit him back with that. You know, you hit him in the face, you going to jail. You know what I'm saying? But this is what he does to try to get the upper hand. And then when you confront him on the things, then he plays the victim. Oh my God, I can't believe y'all coming at me like this.
Right.
I don't like bro.
But that's the stuff that's happening.
Tell little bro want to shoot the one.
So that's the things that are happening, that he's doing this way financially and trying to make it like it's a competition with us here. Yeah. When we're looking at it like we're just trying to build the family and build the strength. But every time you turn around, even the son, he's like, told him to come back. He messed the car, wrecked the car. You can come back in the house with me. But to get a new car, you got to come back and stay with me.
He's manipulative.
21. So you're trying to do this young man like this. You convince the daughter to be like, hey, when you graduate, come on up here for the summer. Mm-hmm. We'll work on your college and stuff. Now she's just sitting up there in the house. So he done bought this big half mansion here. Mm-hmm. But it really ain't no love in the house. Ain't nobody talking in the house. Ain't nobody doing nothing. But it's all about the financial looking good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anytime it's an issue, he's coming back to Greensboro like, oh, what they doing? What they doing? I'm like, you keep the money, bro.
Right.
You told these kids to come in the house and you was going to take care of everything. And you like, hey, why didn't they send you some money? I ain't sending you nothing. This
right.
Is
you're talking that talk.
The hard
at work, and we'll teach you something. Like you said, a survival.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's difficult for the children, man, especially the son, because like I said, all my kids, they in the group chat. Mm. So my kids are raised off of this survival. Mm. They work, they go do what they got to do. And this kid is fighting this identity like, I want to be this, but dad has made me this. He won't even let them kids wash dishes. He won't let them wash clothes. He won't let them. He's taking away any independence they have.
He fucking them kids up for life.
On that money that he has.
He fucking them up.
So let me ask you this as a, you know, still as a parent in the household and you having to deal with those kids, what's the conversations you have with them or how you communicate with them?
Tricky part that
from that.
I have to, when they come and he's like, man, my dad doing this. I don't have no respect for him, this and that. I have to be the mature adult. Like we said earlier, I got to live by what I'm saying. So I'm telling them like, listen, I understand you a little upset with your pops, man, but understand that, hey, you got the best of both worlds. Your pops can take care of you financially. What I'm giving here, I'm giving you stuff that you can take for the rest of your life. Hey, don't disrespect him. Understand that's the way he lives.
These are your bonus kids, real dad.
Yeah, so I'm trying to, the kids come to me and be like,
I got you.
Deal with them.
Like, I got you.
And I'm like, no, don't do that. Hey, still build that relationship, talk to him, see what you can do. So I can't just say, the hell with him.
Right. Still your father.
You see what I'm saying? I still got to be that father in there, but it's tough for those kids. You know what I'm saying?
But one thing about that, see, love conquers all. The hardest thing for a kid to understand is money don't measure love. So what an adult will do, a corrupt adult, he has a social prestige, he's up in life, he'll try to manipulate them with money, but money don't measure love. But the love that you give these kids, it don't even matter the money he got. See, have you ever had a friend from the projects? I was reading the project. Have you ever had a rich friend that still wanted to be around y'all because that project love was more than the love that we want what they got, but they want what we got. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you're in a 2-3 story house. He like, that don't mean nothing to me. Y'all a tight-knit family. So I get that. I get why they want to still be there. That money don't mean nothing. Money do not measure love at all.
Yeah. But we've been conditioned as a community to base the idea of love off of finances, materials, and things of that nature. Oh man, they must really love them. You know what I'm saying? They got them this, got them that, got them that. They must really love them. And so I think that, you know what I'm saying, that kind of like messes us up.
Yeah. So while we talking about finances, let's go ahead and talk about child support. Because if we know money don't mean nothing,
good transition.
And why a lot of people are on child support, you know what I'm saying? And how do you push through child support and still having that same foundation of love for the child, no matter how evil or, you know, the other parent is, or you kind of feel like they manipulating the situation because you take care of your child on a regular day and you still got to pay child support. You with your child half the time, kind of like how Corey said, half the week, half of the day, and they still got you on child support. So what really is it behind child support, and how do you feel like, does that hurt our community, or do you feel like we need to start handling our stuff before we get to court, or for some situations it might just work out for those co-parents? So share a little light on that, Doc.
Child support. I'm gonna give my thoughts and perspective, which is only my thoughts and perspective, and then I'll talk a little bit about my personal experiences with it.
Okay.
So I feel like child support is bullshit, even though I understand the concept of how we got here. You know, with some single parents struggling to get some type of financial support from the other parent. So I do understand that. I think it's bullshit because do you really care about the well-being of the child if you force child support, but you don't force visitation rights? And so now you're making it a money game and not the well-being of the child, because I think if anybody pays child support, they should have the right to have visitation for their kids. You know what I mean? And so until they get that worked out, until they start pressing the present parent the same way they press the absent parent for the finances, if they don't press the present parent for visitation, then I feel like it's really not balanced.
Yeah.
Me personally, with my daughter, who is now 26, her mom had me on child support. I was young, and I resented her for that. You know what I mean? I felt like you got this white system telling me how to parent. So I think I intentionally did, you know, little defiant things. Like I would pay it late on purpose, knowing that she needed it at a certain time.
24-year-old Gene.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is Gene in his 20s. You know what I'm saying? And just mad. Like the world was the way I thought it was supposed to be. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, so if she put me on child support, she wrong. And she really wasn't wrong. You know what I mean? But I think we have to be mindful of running to this system, because some women or absent parents, I don't want to just say women, have figured out how to weaponize this system, and it becomes a way of getting at the other parent. You know what I'm saying? Now with my son, we came out of a marriage. I had joint custody, and so she takes care of him on her days. I take care of him on my days. Anything else that we do is extra, and it is what it is type thing. And I love that system. It works, but I understand like it's not like that with everybody.
Right. How about you, Nick?
Let's see. I'm an advocate of child support.
Okay.
But it's different cases.
You want them ones to go put yourself on it?
No, never.
Okay.
No, never.
You don't love it that much.
Listen,
He ain't
listen,
advocating like
I'm
that.
not listening. We ain't got enough time for me to say 24-year-old Dominique, 34-year-old Dominique. Okay, child support should not come from a failed relationship.
A failed relationship.
Child support should absolutely not come from failed relationship. 65% of child support in our community comes from failed relationships. Child support.
I might want to up that number.
Hey, and I'm being nice. I'm being tedious about that. You know what I'm saying? Or more, but child support shouldn't come from a failed relationship. Child support should come from absent parenting. Child support they weaponize child support. I pay $1,200 a month for child support. But I'm not mad because I hold myself accountable because I was making those choices, decisions, outcome. I learned that from Doc. The choices I made, decisions I made is the outcome. So I don't even want to say God chastises who he loves, you know. Okay, now the catch-22 to that is if I'm paying $800 for one kid on child support, this is a true story. I'm not going to bring any kids involved, but just say if I'm paying $800 child support, what is the mother doing with that $800? I don't know. But what if my son called me and be like, okay, daddy, I want to weight set. I can't be like, well, your mama got the $800. I still got to get that weight set. That's why the system fucks the families up. Excuse my language, kid. That's why the system messed the family, and that's why it's weaponized because you're really tearing family down apart. Because the mom beefing, she know a woman can go to court. Let's just be real here. She know a woman can go to court and have her way. The son don't understand. Daddy understand, but the daddy ain't gonna tell the son, well, your mama got it, because then he gonna hate you for real. You still gotta do it. You can't just be like, yo, your mama got it. That's some sucker shit. Yeah. So I agree with you at that as well. You know what I'm saying? It is being weaponized, but I know some people, some niggas, not grown men, that won't even pay $50 a month. Right. And bitching like, boy, you got a good baby mama. That's all she asking for? Yeah. You know,
that's all
so
that
yeah,
she can
different
get.
strokes with different folks on that.
Yeah, that's
yeah. In my situation, a little different because I got my kids and I was reaching out for help at the time where we needed it the most. Even when we was in Atlanta, we was homeless and all that good stuff. And then once we split and we were on our own type shit, is when I moved back. So I applied for child support. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But due to her circumstances, I couldn't get but so much. So it was pretty much like $50 for 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even because that she couldn't afford it or wasn't working or nothing like that. It was just how the system was set up, I believe. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, she did do certain things. But in that time when I really needed it, you know what I'm saying? I really needed the child support. You know what I'm saying? And every dollar I got went towards the kids.
Right.
But I didn't trip. I just took that 50. It's pretty much $550 a year. You know what I'm saying? And I just wait, it just come in lump sums, and I put it towards the kids or whatever we got going on at the time. So it was a little bit different because I was upset that I only get $50 for 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I wanted to exercise my rights, but I don't feel like they were compensated because of the system that was set in place. You know, if you don't know they working, if it's this, you might know plenty of places they working at, but you can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So my situation a little different, but I took what I could and I made the best of it. You know what I'm saying? So eventually I got on my feet and I didn't look back ever since. But before that I was good, but I just had those rocky times and I needed it. You know what I'm saying? So I still kept it in place, even though she spoke about taking it off. I just felt like it wasn't even enough to even take off. So I just left it in place. But shout out to her though. She's doing her thing. But I just wanted to share that and shine some light on the flip side of it from my perspective. Go ahead.
Can I give y'all the North Carolina's definition of what child support is?
Let's go.
All right. Child support is money paid by a parent for the purpose of meeting the reasonable needs of the parent's child for health, education, and maintenance.
Lies.
From nails, hair, toes, clothes.
And I guess visitation doesn't count with that, huh?
Visitation doesn't count with that, right?
That's what North Carolina said. That was North Carolina for y'all.
And that's the crazy thing, because when you go to child support court and you do the mediations and stuff, did they even give you mediation?
Listen, I'm a talker.
Yeah.
I talk my tail off. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like $800 for one child, even if we was together, he wouldn't get the $800.
Right. Some things just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Go ahead.
I'm basically like you were So I done been on both sides of the fence. I had child support on me with my youngest, and they were saying they needed this amount, but I was a real active father.
Okay.
And I didn't find out she was mine and she was 4, but they never gave me the opportunity to be that active father. They just went straight to the courts. So I'm already raising 3 kids. So if you know that, then you know I'm going to hold this down. But I never got the opportunity. So, yes, I don't believe no one should just automatically run down now and put somebody on me. The other side, I have been on the other side. So child support, when you're on the other side, means totally different. You know, like you said, you're going through a struggle. That doesn't mean if you send me $400 a month that I'm supposed to just go buy the kids some shoes. If I got to put this on the rent, I got to put this on the rent.
You got to do what you got to do.
Put this in the car so I can get back and forth to work. I got to get that. Now, like what Gina was saying, if you are an active parent, you shouldn't be on child support.
Right.
But I'm going to define what's active. Active don't mean that you come in on the weekends to get the kid. You come in a couple of days out the week to get the kid.
Right.
It means active means if mom is sick and can't go to work, or the kid is sick and she has to go to work, you take off to go watch the kid.
Exactly.
A lot of parents, absent parents, don't do that. We're going to send the money, but if I got to miss work, luckily with me, I worked at the hotel, so I could take my kids sick to the hotel, but we don't do that as the other parent. We don't say, hey, well, you out of work, what's the dentist appointment, doctor's appointment. We're not taking off to go to those things. I sent you the money, that should be enough. Doesn't work that way when you're on that side of it. Like you said, you struggling, and I remember one time I asked my ex, I said, I'm struggling right now. I just need help right now on the rent. Just 1 month to help me kind of get caught up. She looked at me and said, well, maybe you living above your means.
Yeah. What you want me to do? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, you suck it up, you keep moving. Same thing. It was like, I got 2 active cases. One where I'm paying and one where I'm supposed to be receiving.
Right.
Where her money ain't never coming in.
You know how it go.
$260 for 3 kids.
Right.
But I'm dishing out almost 8 for 1.
1 kid. Yeah.
But
that's how it is.
I see the child support people, I'm miss a payment because I'm switching job. They looking at me saying, hey, well, what's up with that payment? I'm like, where's she been missing for a year.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying
nothing about her.
So it's not fair the way it is, but the only thing I can say is that if you're not the parent where the child stays in the house, if you're active, think about that too. Think about that money is just not for your kid to get the outfit. Like Neek said, if it need the weight set, you still got to go get the weight set.
Still got to go get it, yeah.
No matter where that money went, as long as that money went in that house to help that child,
right,
that's the way it should be, except the hair and the
Yeah,
nails.
yeah. But let me piggyback off that because I don't think people understand. I'm going to give you another, I'm going to be transparent. Even when I was in the projects with my kids and we moved to Hampton Homes and I was over there for 5 years, people don't understand. They count your child support as income. You see what I'm saying? So if they ask where the money going, hell, they already charging me my rent.
That means your rent went up for child support.
Yeah, child support. So they already know what you got. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of guys don't know that because my situation is a unique situation. I pretty much was like a female. So, and I understand with certain females that they know what you got coming in. Sometimes you can slide through the hoops, or you might get a private landlord somewhere once you get on your feet and you ain't got to mention it. But when you on housing and you getting welfare, everything's accounted for because they know. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead.
So what a lot of men don't realize is y'all can go apply for joint custody, like you were speaking on. Joint
Amen.
custody.
Oh, for sure.
And I encourage people to do that because then a child will be with you 50% of the time. They'll be with the mom 50% of the time, and then you will cut out that middleman per se.
And that's before child support.
That's before child support. But also, if you get in child support, you can request mediation. So you can get visitation. Child support and mediation.
They go hand in hand.
They don't go hand in hand.
No, they don't.
They
okay.
do not.
Got you.
You have to request
the mediation.
for mediation.
Yeah.
You got to pay $1,000 for that.
Rights.
Got you.
So
See, I didn't have to go through that part, so I was confused.
I encourage men to do, use your rights. If they're going to take you to court or whatever, use your rights. You have rights. Use them. I might be one of few. My children are 26 and 17. I've never received child support. I've never went and asked them to give me child support. Only thing I asked for my oldest daughter's dad was spend time with her. He couldn't even do that. But me and my baby girl dad, we co-parent well.
And you still ain't take them on child support?
No.
The deadbeat?
No. For what?
You're a real one.
They never want or lack for nothing.
Already.
Because I'm a go-getter.
Hey.
They're going to have regardless.
Fact.
Regardless.
Yeah,
my
I feel you on that.
We co-parent real well. We don't make no decisions at all without speaking to each other. she can't play the middle.
Right.
Because when she come to mommy going to daddy. Hey, Ken, what's up? Kennedy said this. Is that right? Or he come to me, hey, Jess, Kennedy told me this. Is this cool? So she can't play the middle because we already ahead of her when it comes to her trying to play that narrative of, oh, I go to my mom, she going to tell me yes. Or if I go to dad, he going to tell me no. So I'm going to go to my mom. No, we don't play that. We cut that all out. We go to each other and speak to each other.
Wow.
But I encourage a lot of men to go apply. If you got the means, go apply for joint custody.
It's free, ain't it?
It's $1,000. It's $1,000. It starts at $1,000
to go down to the courthouse.
The mediation is not free because I thought you can go down and file a motion for mediation.
You can so let me
clarify.
Walk you all through.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Thank you, Jess. Appreciate you.
So what I did was I went to a lawyer and got her to file the motion for joint custody. Then what happened was she was served. Then we had a date for mediation. Now, she had a lawyer. I had my lawyer. If we could not work things out in mediation, then it goes before a judge. And then that's when I have to pay my lawyer more money, you know what I'm saying, to defend me in court. So thank God me and my ex-wife was able to work it out in mediation. But just keep in mind, I feel like it's best to have a lawyer file. You could file by yourself and then the paperwork, you know, but I don't ever recommend any man trying to go for custody or go to child support representing themselves. You know what I'm saying?
See, with a situation when my sister was helping me through some things, and I remember one time you said you go down to the court and file a motion for mediation. So
yes, Gene is 100% right.
Or what?
Gene is 100% right, and I've actually been in that situation as well, where I went to court representing myself, and the other party had an attorney, and attorneys, regardless of the situation, get precedence in the court. They have a different relationship with the judge. They've already met this judge before. They probably go out to lunch with the judge all the time. So going in there unrepresented is very brave and probably not the best decision. However, there are things set up like we do have here. I believe it is called, and I'll look it up just to give you, but we do have it is called legal aid. We do have programs in place. So you just have to know the resources to go to get the information. But we do have legal aid in place that helps. If your child is in a dangerous situation, you don't have to pay for legal fees. They will actually represent you in the form of an attorney and do all that paperwork for you.
And I just want to add to that, because sometimes naturally we can be defensive and create a lot of excuses. Well, this, well, that, well, I don't have the money. I would have sold everything I had to pay this lawyer to file this paperwork. You know what I'm saying? And I think sure. like sometimes we have to be willing, especially as men, because that's what she was speaking to, fathers and their rights. We have to be extreme when it comes to getting our rights with our kids. Yeah. So like I'll sell whatever I had to sell. Like seriously.
No, that's real talk.
100%.
Right, Jane. I've been through it 3 different times. So the way it really works is that, like I said, you want a lawyer to file the paperwork for joint custody or any type of custody. You're going to go to mediation. And I can tell you this, 90% of them ends in mediation. If you're going to court, somebody's just being an asshole in that mediation.
Super facts.
And don't want to
Super
go.
facts.
Then they take a risk too of losing. So you want to get it resolved in mediation. Or the visitation, you can go to the courthouse and just file that and pay $5 for them to serve and get that without. You don't need an attorney for that.
Right.
All that's going to do is you put your dates on there, what dates you want, and then they're going to bring the other party to the court and say, you got a problem with these dates? Well, we can't do it. You got to have a good excuse why you have a problem with these dates. They're going to give you visitation.
Right. That's what I was speaking on.
And maybe we need to have a class on that. But the reason I went to the lawyer, number one, like I wasn't playing. Number two, I didn't want to file something incorrectly. and it not go through. I knew she was gonna file correctly, get it right, and it was gonna create some motion in the situation.
And a timely
And
fashion, too.
for me, it was the best $1,000 I ever spent in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I spent more than that partying. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but it
real
was the
talk.
best $1,000 I ever spent in my life.
Young men out. You don't even have to pay the lawyer to go all the way through. You can just
Correct.
pay them to file it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just to write up the
Correct.
paperwork for you so it's correct.
Correct.
Drop it off at the court. It's home
Correct.
with you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And see, that's why I was saying with. Yeah. To see, mine was this. See, when I was at your point, I didn't have the money. I think mine was like $2,500 to go to court. And I was like, damn. And that's when I was hitting sis up, and she told me about the legal aid and all that stuff and mediation. And that's when I learned that. But God worked it out because my situation different because my kid's mother got locked up. So I got everything once she got locked up with nobody to fight, and she couldn't fight against me at the time. And then the time period was so long, it wasn't nothing she could do at that point. You know what I mean? And the grandmother had everything for me. So, kind of like how you were saying, when the rest of the family was looking in, it was like, hey, you need them. There you go. Go ahead, whatever. So I wasn't about to have them go back to the family and they, passing them around, aunts and grandmas and all that. I'm like, nah, let me do this the right way. So I just manned up. So that's ironic. Two different situations, but two great fathers. And I like your explanation as well.
Appreciate it.
And yours too, Doc.
Right.
Go ahead with the comment.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna take it back just a little bit because we had a couple comments before we spoke on child support. And Sue Rose just gave some information to Corey McCann. She said one accord should always be the number one end goal, regardless of the relationship with the other parent. The children's best interest should always be at the forefront. I commend you. He responded, or he said, "Hey y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I admit that I do things like take my boys to educational venues. When I come to parent-teacher conferences, I dress and I speak with certain dialect and do positive, fun things with them as a means to gain an advantage. Am I wrong for this?" He said he was joking, but he was serious at the same time.
I don't know.
Well, if you do it for the reason to gain an advantage, I believe that's wrong.
That's Corey.
Yeah.
That's Corey talking.
Right. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I just know his personality. I know his.
Yeah. But even like, man, like, bro, I play games. This is why I love this topic because I can be transparent. Like, especially with my daughter, like I play games. You know what I'm saying? I did spiteful things because I felt like she did spiteful things to me. I was young. I was immature. Absolutely. And I think anybody, some of the best people, can be immature and do spiteful things.
Right.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're doing anything to gain an advantage, that goes to the competition that you speak
Right,
of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're doing it to show these teachers that there are, like, no, this is not a regular kid. Like, this kid has two parents that love them and that know what time is going on, what time it is out here with what y'all doing,
Right.
then that's different. But if you're doing it just to kind of gain the advantage, then I personally feel like,
Yeah. I mean, I did the same thing. I did the education thing too. I mean, I love education, and I'm really hands-on with my kids' education.
Most definitely.
I just had a problem of dating teachers. You know what I'm saying? So I really did it for the kids, but sometimes teachers. Just
hey man, that's a display of love.
That is.
I love my child so much
all the time. Love
teacher. All right now.
Corey, I love you. Boy, and I know we all love you. But right now, bro, it sounds like you believe that you're the better parent. And it's not a collaborate. You see what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like right now, bro. But call me. We'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Run through the comments, too.
All right. So Chase the Great says child support is for deadbeat parents.
Chase.
He also says child support is also for those who have kids out of wedlock.
What about a situation where the parents were married, and then you have divorce, and then they put in child support. You know what I'm saying? So I hear
a divorce.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe divorce. When you do divorce, child support is like an automatic, right? They
alimony,
or they at least comes
it
up.
all depends who's making the most money.
Nothing is an automatic with coming out of a marriage.
Yeah.
Which is why I had, in my opinion, just as equal rights as she did when it came to joint custody.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Why you saying your opinion? Why you saying?
What you mean? Did I say my opinion?
Yeah, 'cause I was like,
Yeah, well, I mean, this is all perspective. I mean,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't feel like you was doing nothing wrong. That's why I said, in your opinion, you felt like you had the same rights. You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
okay.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but that's my perspective of it. Somebody else might see it differently. People have differences with the court system. You know what I'm saying? But I do know that, like, most of the time, parents coming out of divorce, they have equal rights and they have to figure it out. And a lot of times, it takes the court system to do so. But when it's what is called an out of wedlock situation, the mother automatically has, you know what I'm saying, like, custody of the child. Absolutely. She's automatically the custodial parent, and you will have to go through a process to disprove her. As
So let me ask you this.
or unfit.
No,
Let me
that's
chime
not
in
true.
right quick.
Okay, talk to me.
Hold on, let me hold on
me.
right there before you say.
Talk
Let
to
me chime
me.
in.
Talk to me.
Because I'm not challenging. I just want to learn. Because, like, say for instance, if you divorce and the husband or the ex-husband keeps the house, but the mother has to go live with family, you saying that doesn't even matter. Whoever's in the house, the kid's going with the mother.
So have to, or that's how they chose to handle the split.
Well, I'm sure if they can communicate, they can just work it out. But I didn't know what you were saying with the going with the mother.
No, what I'm saying is, out of a divorce, she doesn't automatically have custody.
In North Carolina.
In North Carolina.
Okay.
North
She
Carolina,
doesn't
nobody has
automatically have
custody in North
custody.
Carolina.
The way it works is when you have a child with somebody, unless you got something on paper to say that this kid automatically resides with you, has custody, that they can't stop you. I've had instances where I went and grabbed my kid and just said, "You gonna be at the house," and they called the police, and the police been like, "We can't do nothing."
No, they can't do that. You
No,
can
they
pick them
can't.
up from school and everything.
You can't take that child out of state, but as long as you in the city. Now, it's a different story. I want to make sure I'm clear in this. If the kid been living over there mom for 12, 13 years.
And you just pull up.
Just go over there. That's going to be a problem.
Right.
But yeah, say, for instance, if you was in a relationship or whatever, y'all split, you wasn't married, and then, we've been dating, we've been whatever, now we got a kid, and I live over here, you live over here, we have equal rights here. You see what I'm saying?
So I have a different
Go
experience.
ahead.
I have a different experience, but I'll say this. I hear you. I would like to talk to some experts that somebody that works in child support to explain that, because you're speaking of your personal experience. I'm speaking of my personal experience when I took my daughter, and then she was able to take her back. You know what I mean? So I would like to get an expert in here and talk about that maybe in one of our future episodes.
They be tripping.
Gene, it's a
I think it's
situation.
equal
As soon
rights.
as you take them from school, they come right back the next day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen,
it's equal
that's
rights,
what,
ain't it?
but that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like I didn't have any rights, which is why I did things differently with my son, and I
Because you learned from that.
man, listen, and I had rights as a father, and I could have done joint custody then. I just didn't know about it.
Right, they're not going to tell you
But
rights.
that's the point,
gotta
though,
find them
that you literally have to go through a joint custody process. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me give y'all some facts. And this comes from North Carolina Judicial Branch website. And it says, what happens if there's no custody order? They say both legal parents have equal rights to the child if there's no custody order. Legal parents are people officially recognized as parents on the child's birth certificate. A court order, such as a child support or adoption order or an affidavit of parentage. Without a custody order, the rights of non-parents are much more limited, and the parents generally have the right to custody of the child.
And that's basically what you said. So yeah, I received that. I got played.
Yeah,
I got played.
We're gonna go get him, Gene.
You live and you learn, dog.
But this is important because, like, guys, or the other parent needs to know, and they need to be able to stand on this. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you reading that. I'm sorry, bro.
I had baby fever. I'm glad we had this show. I don't want no more kids.
Man.
I had baby fever. This is a conversation.
That Cheerio box.
What? I ain't got baby fever no
That
more.
Cheerio box in.
I ain't got baby fever no more. I ain't got time for all that.
Go ahead with
all
the
right,
comments.
y'all. So let's get back to the comments. Sue Rose says, a man or woman who is active both financially, mentally, and physically in a child's life, life, child support shouldn't even be a factor. That's a bitter person's mindset, in my opinion, as a form of gaining control on the other party. What the court grants is nowhere near what it takes to raise a child. Time is so much more important to me. Instilling great life lessons so that the child doesn't grow up with your learned trauma behaviors. Yes, finances is beneficial for monetary needs, for monetary needed things, but money, and then it kind of went out. She didn't. It didn't finish the rest of it.
We appreciate your comment.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
How do y'all feel about her saying that that's a bitter person's mindset?
With child support?
Going after child support, even though the parent is
Like
in
I
the
said, it
life
just depends on-
financially, mentally, and physically.
What was that last part?
Even though the other parent is in the child's life financially, mentally, and physically.
Oh,
in that case, I think that's bitter.
Yeah.
In that case, like it's different strokes for
That's
different
spiteful.
folks. That's spiteful, yeah.
Yeah, and I think different reasons for
Yeah.
different people and
Yeah,
different
circumstances.
situations. Like I said earlier, I do believe some people do weaponize it, but
Yeah.
some people really do need,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
I-
some sort of support. So I think it's
I stopped talking to a chick because she wouldn't put her man on child support.
word.
Like, you stupid. Like, I'm paying all this money for child support. No, seriously. I broke up with her
I know
because
why
she
you
wouldn't
was
put her
mad.
baby
I think-
daddy on child support.
I think you was done with it anyway.
I was
but
done
you
with
just
it
needed-
anyway.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
needed a reason.
Need a
to get
scapegoat.
rid of it.
Yeah. You know what? You're right.
Were you financially supporting the child?
I was. You know, I
Okay.
helped
You
her out.
support the household.
I was basically, put him on child support.
Yeah, what
Right,
that
he
He calling social service on you, talking about you got to draw. I was selling drugs back then. This back in the early 2000s. This is 24-year-old Dominic. I'm taking care of everybody, mama. You don't call social service on me. You don't call social service. They don't run up in the house.
Boy, this is too funny to be.
Hey,
Okay.
but yeah.
All right. Travis Gilmore says, "Hey, Trev." He
Trev.
says,
Trap, what up though?
well, I had to finish paying my arrears when my son passed only because the mama wanted her arrears. So how do you think I feel?
Wow.
Yeah, it's messed up, man.
That's
Yeah,
deep, Trap.
That's real deep, Travis. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sue Rose says most women know that the man doesn't have the patience to fight for months in court for what they deserve, which in turn makes men bitter and walk away from the responsibility of their child due to not wanting to deal with the drama of the mother. It's sad. If they had a little more patience, they would be able to seek just as much rights as the mom. Some women prey on that one factor alone, knowing she will continue to get her way. Men have to stand up more for themselves and them children. I agree with that.
That's true.
Yeah, and I think we need to figure out some type of platform where we're educating fathers and soon to be fathers
Most
on their
definitely.
rights on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
we gotta
I
make
was
sure
thinking about
we
that
get this-
earlier.
Yeah.
Mothers as well.
Well, you
Well,
know, it's a
mothers
lot of
gotta
parents
figure it out.
today. Women, everything out here. Level, you know what I mean? Level up parents and get them right. You know what I mean?
Right. Shout out
So
to
we have
Tamika.
to, yeah.
Shout out to Tamika Hughes.
I'm gonna hold us down, ladies. I got this. All right, y'all. So Travis also says had a whole damn warrant and didn't even know it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a lot. Renika Hodges says both parents have equal rights in this state. Ashley Good says, hello, good people. Happy Sunday. Hey, Ash.
What up? What up though?
Urban Allen says, what up? Great topic. And
What up,
thank you,
big homie?
Travis, for highlighting your followers. So we do have another clip if y'all would like. This one is more culture. Y'all good?
Is it white people? Because if it's white people, I don't want to hear it.
It's not white people, and it'll never be white people ever again.
Well, we just had a white clip. We just had a white clip.
I said it'll never be. It was
That
when
was
I
the
found.
devil's. You got that clip, Chewy? That was Chewy clip. That was Chewy clip. Salute to the Chew. Salute to the Chew, though.
We just wanted to get it raw.
And that was my clip, y'all.
You didn't fight it. You didn't fight it. But I will say this: don't bring no white people on here, because we're parenting from different perspectives.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, this one is straight from Dominique.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Let me ask you this question, Jay. 34 children. At any point, did it dawn on you, this is too much?
No.
So at child 15, you never said, let me use a condom?
I did use condoms.
How many?
I probably would have 200 kids if I didn't use condoms.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did it ever dawn on you, let me get a vasectomy?
No,
Why not?
I don't want one.
But look what you've created.
I don't have a problem with what I created.
And what can you do right now, holding these 14 babies, with all of them behind you that you don't even have your hand on? What can you, one man, do right now? Tell me, for these children, what can you do?
I'm tired of holding the dolls.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. As a mom, I don't get not to take care of my children, no matter what I'm thinking or feeling or going on. I had to figure out and find the time and the way to get myself handled, but they were first. And I didn't get to just put them down because it was inconvenient. Let me ask you this question, Jay. 34.
Okay, so in the clip itself, this guy has 34 kids. She gives him 15 baby dolls to represent 15 children that he has. And throughout the clip, he is, I guess, exhausted by holding these children. He says, I want to put them down. And she says, as a mother, I don't get the opportunity to put them down. We still have to keep going, this, that, and the third. So what are y'all thoughts, for one, on excessive amount of children, since we are speaking about child support, because in the states of North Carolina, I believe all over, after a certain amount of children, you no longer have to pay
That's a lie.
child support.
It's not true.
It's a lie.
not
That
true.
did change. Okay.
It never was. It didn't change. It just never was true.
Yeah.
So
I agree. It was definitely a myth.
it is. Dominique, like hell.
It never was true.
Especially if you got different baby mamas, it can't be.
Here's the thing. I had my kids when I was a kid, actually. You know what I'm saying? The last 3 kids I had, I was in my 30s and late 20s. So it's a different perspective of being a father at that certain age. Now, the love never changed for the kids, but the maturity as a man is more better now. So my oldest son, which is 27, that I had when I was 18, talks to my youngest son, which is 16, like, yo, dad, dad always been a lovable dad, but you got the full-fledged daddy now. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's different
I feel like
levels.
it's toxic to have, me personally, I'm an open book. I got 8 kids, 6 baby mamas. Possibly, I got 8 kids, 6 baby mamas. So you're dealing with 8 kids, you're dealing with 6 baby mamas. Somebody's always gonna be like, okay, he do more for this, he do for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I got to deal with. That's something that I hold myself accountable for, because you reap what you sow. And I love all my kids, and I even love the baby mamas, their mothers. But that's just some repercussions that you gotta, you just gotta go through it, because you did it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll never. That's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at child support. I would be mad. I would be mad if I blamed it on somebody else but myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And then for me, if it's a
that's
million kids,
that's a lot right there.
yeah, I'm gonna take care of.
Yeah, if it's a million
It's
kids,
kind of like you said earlier, choices, decisions, results,
outcomes. And I got
yeah,
that from
like,
Doc.
Yeah, and what bothers me about that clip is that it felt like she was coming from a judgmental place, and she's talking to him about how many kids he has. What I did not hear her say is he's not taking care of them. And if she was coming at him because he wasn't taking care of them, then I would have, okay, I see you. But she's actually being judgmental, determining that he has too many kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her. I think she's very judgmental, very opinionated. And
we talked about this earlier.
And I did not like that. If you want, my grandfather had 15 kids.
Well, they had plenty of kids
Yes,
back in the day.
That was the norm.
And he took care of them.
Yeah,
Right.
with nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And so if that man want to have 20 kids, you know what I'm saying? If he want to have 20 kids, if he's doing the best he can to take care of them, then cool. I've seen some people who have 2 or 3 kids and still struggle to take care of their 2 or 3 kids. And they're missing and absent in a lot of things. So it's not necessarily the number. But that dude seemed very fine with what he had. You know what I'm saying? So man, don't play no more of her either. She's on the ban list.
Steve Harvey, Charleston White,
Steve Harvey, Ayana,
who was
and
that?
white
Alana?
people.
This list getting long.
I guess once y'all broke it down, I think I kind of understand it. I hear what Gene is saying too.
Oh yeah.
Gene said it out loud what it is. He's doing the best he can. But I think I understand what the video is saying. Hey, if it's 14 kids, you holding all of them kids, that's all you can do is the best you can. If that mother only has the one kid, they don't get that option. Just do the best. They have to always do everything. So I get it. Like Dominique said, he got 8. I got 5.
But a lot of times they come up short too. They start dating, like you start dating and you start missing. Like it's a lot of things that make us as parents miss out on things.
I say that is once you had the kids, if they're doing that, those are choices they're making after the child. If we're out here and we have the sex where I had 5 kids, these was choices beforehand.
Bro, no, choices beforehand is knowing that this dude got 10 kids and you choose to lay up with him unprotected and end up being 11, 12, 13, or 14th. You know
or if you popular, they want a kid by you anyway because your name Dominique, period. Right.
The fourth one, the last one, of course, is with me. All right. But I did have an older daughter who was not in the house. And it was difficult. So I'm trying to do things here. And I'm like, hey, we on a budget. We have to plan for this. If you need some school, let me know 30 days in advance. We do this. And over here, they need something right now. And mom them is like, we need, and I'm like, I don't have it. And it looks to my daughter like I'm just not doing for her the way I'm doing.
And that's the catch-22. When you got a lot of
kids,
and then when you got multiple baby mamas, they not thinking about the other kid or the other baby mama.
They think about what you can do for them.
But you can have that challenge. But you can have that challenge with just 2 kids.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You can have that challenge with 2 kids.
Like in Nick's situation, I'm thinking, what if all 5 wasn't in that house? And I got to get over here for school. I got to get over here for a doctor's appointment. I got to get here.
You spread thin.
But emotional needs and everything. So I think the video is just saying one thing.
Right. That's good TV right there.
The video is just saying.
I think the video went left.
Yeah, it did. I think
you got the multiple, and I'm here, and I don't never get the chance to drop it. I think that's what the video is saying. We don't really all agree.
I think she was just saying wrap it up. Like enough is enough type of thing. I don't know.
But who is she to say that?
Oh, I agree.
But it also goes to this. At least with me, I don't know what Nick, he can explain this himself. By the time I hit 3 or 4, whoever I was dealing with, you knew I got them 3 or 4.
That's a fact.
That's it.
I have 422.
Come on.
Never lied to a woman.
Come on.
I've always been like,
Come
time
on.
is limited.
Come on.
I'm a busy man. On my time, all I can give you is if you're in my presence, I'm gonna give you my undivided attention. I never disrespect you, and I always treat you like a queen when we're around each other. I can't give you one.
That's a fact.
Because the rest is gonna be with these kids. So if you in that, we
like me, with them kids, boy, they take you up.
You already know.
Yeah, you couldn't do nothing else.
So,
and going back to the topic, the kids is the common denominator.
That's it.
So either it's gonna make you or break you, and it comes with maturity. I can only speak for myself, like Gene say, speak for yourself. So when I had 6 boys. At the time, I had 6 boys and 4 baby mamas. I say, you know what? If I gotta go see them separate or take them to somebody, listen, Dominique, get on your shit, get your own house, and have them all in one house. And that's what I did.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes mothers can stop brotherhood or sisterhood. Oh, he ain't coming over there because them ain't his brothers. Because everybody, your mama is your mama's kids is your kids.
Yeah.
Daddy got kids everywhere. But I had a motherly love for my kids in spite of me, my infidelity and me just wanting to lounge out. You know what I'm saying? So I got my shit together. I got a house. And I had all of them there.
That's right.
So now they can't say nothing because they coming to their daddy house.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
sure.
So that's how that went.
It.
For sure.
Salute.
What?
Yeah, I'm just interested in where this went. This last little piece. It's like back
Hey, conversations that matter.
I like what Doc get.
Yeah.
I like what Doc get.
Right, one kid and they not handling their business.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
That's on you. Yeah. And another time. Yeah.
That's a
for
fact.
sure. No, that's real.
I have 2 more comments for y'all
Go
before we
ahead.
close. Urban Allen says, and thank you for highlighting your followers. He says, I feel all the men on the child support point, but to play devil's advocate, some guys don't know the true cost of the child being in the household. I've been on both sides.
And some parents who get child support don't know the true cost either, because I don't think they're always applying, you know what I'm saying, what they get to the you know what I'm saying, the cost of that child, the complete cost of that child.
Then say, call your daddy.
What's that?
They'll get the child support and be like, call your daddy.
Listen.
They gonna call daddy anyway.
Exactly.
There ain't no way around that.
They can call me. All of them can call me.
Princess Seeger says Dominique Davis made me an aunt at 8 years old.
Yep.
Okay, we got one more. Chamisha Robinson says, how does co-parenting work when the kids don't like your significant other?
That's step parenting. That's not co-parenting to a degree what we talking about, but it's still co-parenting.
No.
But it's
so when your kid don't like the significant other?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
so yeah, it was kind of like
it
was kind of like his example. So like, I have to co-parent with this person, and the kid that we have together doesn't like who I'm currently dating.
Oh,
and sometimes it can be because of what the other partner is feeding, the other parent is feeding into your child.
That's a good one.
Man, that's a whole nother damn hour,
Good
man.
question.
That's like
damn.
That's a good one though. But what I would recommend is communication. Kind of like how Rathel said, you got to set that tone as men, man. But it's not always that simple. But I feel like in those situations, because I deal with all that, and you got to be in communication, no matter if it's the mother of your child and the person you dating. You got to have some common ground. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, the kid gonna control the narrative to a certain degree and play everybody against each other, or it's just not gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? So you got to communicate. You got to find that common ground, and somebody has to set the tone. And in that trilogy, I don't know who's the right person to set the tone, because always it's not the man. Do a certain extent.
Communication.
Yeah, so just communicate. You got to communicate, and you got to sit that child down too, because if the child doesn't like who you're dating, what's the reason behind it? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to listen to the child on why they don't like who you dating. Right. Sometimes you got to tell the child and have it communicate with them on, this is the person I'm dating. This is who's going to be in your life right now. They don't mean you no harm. Because like Sue said, he probably dealt with most of it just like I have too. So it's all about communication. But you got to have those conversations. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah,
thank you for that comment,
I'm going to pick my kid over anything. I ain't going to be competing with nobody with my turn. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I can't let my kid dictate my relationship as well. I knew you was going with this, Doc. I knew you was going with this. I knew you was going with this. But if they can't coincide, and at the same time, I'm not going to force nothing on my child. I'm not going to be like, yo, when she coming and you going to talk? No, I can't do that. I mean,
well, to a certain extent,
I cannot do that. I can't do it.
If you saying you're going to pick the child first every time?
Every time. I'm sorry.
So the child is always right in your
They're
book.
not going to dictate my relationship and my future. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was speaking on. If the woman's a good woman, she ain't did nothing wrong. The kid just upset because you ain't with me.
But I'm not. I understand that too. But I have to respect my kid's proximity and his space, his or her space, with my loved one. Hey, if they don't want to be around right now, I will have to just spoon feed it, and it may take longer than usual.
It always take time. So that's it ain't gonna happen overnight.
Especially with girls, because my baby, what story? You know, she don't play that shit.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, but like Dominique said, this can go on for a whole nother hour. That was a good one. I wish we would have had that comment in the beginning. We can touch on that. You got something you want to say?
We appreciate you too.
The kids in the house, different personalities. So
yeah, for sure.
Like the new lady, this one don't like him.
And it's gonna take time for you to even see the kids when you dating anyway.
That's a fact. When is the proper time? That's
the proper time. It depends on your circumstances. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on who it is.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Because that could go numerous ways, you know? But I definitely would say take your time and just find the time that's right for you. You know what I'm saying? In your, whatever that is, situationship, relationship, dating, whatever. But I don't think the kids should be.
That's a fact.
On the child support thing, like I said, it's tough to do when, like I said, you got a lot of big mamas. But if you,
I take it on the chin.
Goals, in the beginning, before we even got there, if I was in a relationship, no one went for it, but I would offer and be like, hey, wherever place you staying at, I pay half the bill. I'm going to give you up to maybe $1,000 for rent. You see what I'm saying? So I'm giving you $500 on that, and I'm going to take care of what the kids need. No one ever went for it. I thought it was fair. I thought it was, back then, rent and junk now, but you know what I'm saying? If you
that was a lot back then.
To $1,000, I'll pay $500, and I'm going to make sure the school stuff taken care of. I'm going to make sure any supplies they need, I'm going to take care of it. I always thought it was fair.
Yeah.
But like I said, whoever I presented it to, those are two went to the court.
right. But too late by then.
They said, oh, he got 500.
Thug life.
Yeah, that's super dope.
All right, now. Yep.
All right, final thoughts, man. We thank y'all for tuning in, man. It's been a wonderful episode, man. We have to learn how to communicate, even if it's co-parenting, step-parenting, parenting a child, child to parent. Everybody should be communicating in households and relationships, being a parent, just dating, whatever it is. So we hope you could take this information and apply it to your parenting, to your household, and your circumstances, because it was some good information talked about today. So when it comes to co-parenting, we have great examples in our community about co-parenting. You heard a lot of examples today about positive co-parenting. So it's not always beef, it's not always grief and trauma in our communities, because a lot of us represent good parents and we co-parent well. So if you're struggling with some things, just seek help, just seek some counseling, or if you need help with certain things, just reach out to somebody that can help you in that area. But we hope this conversation set you well, and we hope you can apply it to your parenting and things like that. But like we say, we're going to get y'all some information. We're going to figure out how we can advise and teach the young brothers out here how to go get custody, how to go file, know your rights, first of all, how to go apply for child support on your own, how to go file a motion, how to go do all these things, man. We're going to figure it out. But we hope it was very informative to y'all guys, man. And we thank y'all for tuning in on another great episode. Great topic.
Good episode. I'll say this, like I said at the beginning, the child is the common denominator. You can go to counseling, you can go to the church, but when it comes to co-parenting, to make it short and sweet, the answer is always in ourselves, man. We always looking for answers and suggestions, and that's cool. But the answer is always in you. Remember that. Mother or father, child is the common denominator. You can go to counseling, therapy, church, pray. The answer is always in you. And that's it.
Word. I would say we have to learn to respect each other's differences, each other's backgrounds, each other's perspectives on parenting. Even if we don't always agree, I feel like we should at least try to consider why they feel that way.
Right.
And if we can work through why they feel that way, maybe we can find some resolve, some solutions, and figure some things out, man. But co-parenting is hard. At times, man, it's competition. At times, it's straight fighting. At times, it's weaponizing and gaining advantages where you have advantages, or where where you kind of like may be ahead on certain things. And it's hard to parent alone. Then it's hard to co-parent. And then we're growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you grow up as a person. So you're not who you were 20 years ago, 15 years ago, or 10 years ago. And so you're just trying to figure everything out. I think that we should just try to be open and try to be loving, try to be understanding. And, and like Nick said, man, just remember that at the end of the day, it's about the best for the kid.
That's right.
Right. It's good, Jim.
Kid is the common denominator, man, and everything is, at the end of the day, is for the kid, So we hope this was moving for y'all, man. Thank y'all. This was good. And
we definitely appreciate your comments, man, your perspectives.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all engaging with us.
Audience,
Most
appreciate
definitely.
that. Big screw, big bro right there. Yeah, we needed that. Jess, Miss West, appreciate y'all insights.
Corey, we appreciate your perspective and your transparency too, Corey.
Love you,
Most
Corey.
definitely. Yeah. So thank y'all, man. So, and this has been a Conversations That Matter. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. And it's just like that.